the hips. Do you like these things? Are these things you're trying to run from? Are you comfortable being you? Naima said yes. So are you comfortable being you? If you answered yes to these questions, then you will be thinking or thought with an African world view, which is the view of the Creator, her himself. Now, the African worldview doesn't mean that you have to think ill of other people on the planet or other creatures on the planet. The African worldview means that you understand that all this stuff is created so the planet can be in harmony, even the wicked. Even what you think is ugly. But you understand, when you look at anything, you understand this is a creation of the master, him herself. You will learn the beauty in that anything. You would see the beauty in the majesty in the Creator's creation. You wouldn't propagate the ugliness in others. The African worldview is that which is in accordance or alignment with the quintessential essence of the Creator. The African worldview doesn't have a concept to the level of what the Europeans created when they created Satan, the devil, or that force or energy being all bad. Because the African realized that all behaviors are relative. Are relative to the situation. Sometimes it calls for you to be, if I can say, barbaric. If somebody's attacking your child or your loved one, what will you do? If they're trying to take your brother's head off, it calls for you to take their head off. Asher? Only an oppressed people would dare alter their appearance to look like someone or something else. Because you got to say something. Because some of us, we keep saying it's European, but I never seen purple-headed Europeans. You know? From the planet Tudo. I mean, now, if you had some symbolic or some, not just symbolic, but if you had some, come on y'all, help me out. If that purple hair represented something, then it'd be something different. You know, some people want to say, oh, in Africa they put something in their hair. But everything that you do in Africa has a reason, starting with your name.
That's right.
To the way you wake up, the way you lay in the bed, who gets in the bed in what position. Everything has meaning. Ashe?
Ashe.
So that diffuses that ignorance. Ashe? Some are caught up by the vanity that Europeans have given us. We will die for it. We will kill for it. We will steal for it. Some still in this room may say that none of those fit me. Let's try this. Some will work physically 1, 2, 3 jobs, maybe 4, with extreme overtime to get and sustain that which the world has taught us is the American dream. Let's say that again. 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs with extreme overtime to get and or try to sustain that which we deem at not which we deem as the American dream, but what the American, so-called, what the Europeans have told us is the dream. The funny thing is that because we are working those 1, 2, 3, 4, or how many jobs with extreme overtime, we can't begin to enjoy the essence of life. We don't even know what life is. The only time when we work in this matters where we begin to enjoy ourselves are when we take an illusionary getaway. What we call a vacation. That in of itself isn't reality. Vacation. That's not, I don't know how many of y'all been on vacation? You say, oh my, so it's good life here. It's time to get back to the real world. I know, I'm like, man, I'm sick of this false stuff. Look, it's time to get back to work. Because this vacation is vacating my pocket. It's doing a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? We spend all kinds of money on these vacations because we think this is happiness. Some of us fight about these things. Oh, when are we going to go and do this? When are we going to go and do that? When are we going to go and do this? Oh, we ain't do it. I'll just be happy if you take me somewhere. I'll just be happy if we can go there. But I'll just be happy. I'll just be happy. I'll just be happy. And then once you do it, guess what? When it's done and over with, you start saying it again. I'll just be happy. I'll just be happy. I'll just be happy. I'll just be happy.
Tell it like it is, sir.
But at the end of the trip, when you have spent out, you have become depressed. It's kind of like a man in a strip club, if I can. You know what I'm saying?
Bring it on.
You know, you get your check and then you go to the strip club. Then you gotta go home and tell your wife what you thought happened to the money. Then you go gamble your whole check away. Then you gotta go and tell your wife what you thought happened to the money. I'm sorry, brothers, but this is what y'all do. You go and misuse the money. You know, you get your check and you want to carry the whole thing around in your pocket because you know this is the only day you're going to carry anything around in your pocket. You're so happy because you got a couple hundred, couple thousand in your pocket, but you know it's going to the bills. You just got this illusionary happiness in your pocket. What they say in the Puritan rule, they say that the same thing that brings you happiness will bring you sadness. The same thing. So you become depressed, like any other drug addict. You go back to work relentlessly, working towards the next illusionary getaway, which we call happiness. Again, I mean, getaway's okay, but everything you do must have purpose. We said our African brothers and sisters did things with purpose. Everything. Believe me, if they crossed the street, it was a purpose. And getting to the other side had a purpose. They said that was a means to another means. Rasha? Many of us have externally reunited with Africa. Externally. We have externally reunited. You know? I mean, some of us even went as deep as getting the name. My name is Raku Bufikapu. You know? You know, we put on nice threads, you know, we look good, you know. We look real good, you know. They say we get the hairstyle, you know. We do a lot of things. We put the cowrie shells on. We got more cowrie shells than they got in Africa. In our hair. Now you realize the cowrie shells symbolize money. You walking around with some currency. We have a hard time becoming a free-thinking people. when it comes to many other areas in our lives. I'm talking on a spiritual level and even an intellectual level. Again, we got the unks, the lots, and so on. But internally, we fail miserably. We fail. It's an ongoing fight between Set and Haru inside of you. Whenever this Western thought is in you, you are constantly fighting. And if you're not constantly fighting, that means you have given up. Because anytime this foreign object has entered you, there's going to be a struggle. Until you can't get rid of it. Even when you look at the story of Set and Haru, Set tried to get rid of Haru. He almost had him. Set let him go. Haru with rage chopped his own mother's head off because he couldn't control himself. What Set was trying to teach Haru, what Set was trying to teach Haru was that you can never get rid of that. Part of you, that part of your nature, that materialistic, that wanting things, you can never really get rid of it, but you can manage it. You can subdue it. That's the object. You must subdue that nature inside of you. Ashe?
Ashe.
We have forgotten how to create for ourselves because this illusion of a world has become so real to us. We are suffering from distress and constantly blaming it on others. Distress, not you stress. And when you are stressed about these things, you have to stop pointing the fingers at other people and look inside of yourself. I mean, this may be a difficult thing to do. As a matter of fact, let me take that back. This is a difficult thing to do. Because even when you start to look at yourself, you start, Set start creeping up and start rationalizing why and knocking that all out of your head. So what you can do, and what I do, is start writing. Right? When you start writing, there's no rationalizing. You see it for what it is. Write what it is and look at it. Ashe?
Ashe.
We are caught in chaos of the European world and are finding it hard to bring order back to it. Are y'all alright? Y'all with me? I'm trying to take my time. I'm hoping that, you're getting something out of it. Again, we are caught in this chaotic world and are finding it hard to bring order to it. This is the struggle. Why is this? Because we have everybody else thinking in our minds. We have everybody else thinking for us. We study. We study. We study with no reflection or validation. Jamal said, what are you talking about, brother?
Break it down.
We study with no reflection. I mean, we read, but we don't reflect on that which we are reading. When you don't reflect on that which you're reading, I don't care what scripture it is, I don't care what book it is in, if you don't reflect, you will never make that a part of yourself because it's totally external. You don't even validate it. What I mean by validation, you don't even give enough thinking to make sure this is even true or correct or it is in line with African spiritual concepts of worldview. And when you say worldview, when you say African worldview,